pretty easy.
I'll just be myself.
Pretty ambiguous. Just saying.
What's your Halloween costume? A bitter asshole. You can't just go as yourself.
Hello, Internet. How are you? We're only lovers left in the library. Romance book club. Sometimes. This is romance, right?
It had romance in it.
It had romance.
It was the main category, but
I did appreciate the romance that was in it, though. It was really sweet.
Whoa. Let me get the introduction and
Kris had
dive right in.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to say it in the kitchen. I was like, oh, I like this. Andrea's like, I don't care. She's like, I don't care. And I'm like,
well, you gave it 3 stars, so she's very upset.
Anyway, back to hello, Internet. How are you? We're a romance book club. And we pick a book to read using the Badlands Fantasy Forum. Sometimes we go rogue for the most part. And this month we read Labyrinth, Lost by Zoraida Cordova because I know Spanish and I'm not gonna butcher her name. Are you mute yourself because of the chips? Okay, cool. So we all decided to try to do something witchy, but of course the time came for hangout and half of the party forgot or didn't have enough time.
1/3 of the party.
2/3 of the party.
2/3 of the party.
Math, guys. Come on.
Shut up. If each round is 6 seconds, then okay, forget it. And so Tosh did amazing makeup.
I'm the bad guy.
And had amazing props. I got in a few minutes ago for my Black Magic Money, Power, Respect shirt. And Andrea didn't dress, but made a fantastic witch's brew of noodles and ramen, and it made my nose run. It was super delicious.
Oh, you made an asopao? I didn't know what you made for dinner.
No, I made homemade ramen.
She did homemade.
Yes! I fucking love homemade ramen.
Yeah, I
really
made it
good.
with chicken for them and with tofu for me. It was
I literally eat ramen like once a week.
yeah, but I like the really thick, fat noodles, the udon.
Soba? Udon. Oh, yeah.
So those are the ones I put in it, even though they're not usually in ramen.
Nice. No, porque they absorb more flavor.
Es que son gorditas.
So oh, wow. You hype about the noodles.
Sorry. Let's move on.
Okay. What's this book about? Nope. Are you reading it? Do you want to read it?
You want me to find the Goodreads description?
I don't remember who read it last time.
I read it last time.
You probably did.
Do you want me to find it?
I read this at the end of last hangout.
Oh, that's what it was.
Brooklyn Brujas.
Hey, that's me.
True story. Yes. Are you gonna read it?
Short. It's really short.
Go for it.
Labyrinth Lost, Brooklyn Brujas #1 by Zoraida Cordova. I was chosen by the Deos. Even gods make mistakes. Alex is a bruja, the most powerful witch in a generation, and she hates magic.
Can't relate.
Okay. At her Death Day celebration, Alex performs a spell to rid herself of her power, but it backfires. Her whole family vanishes into thin air, leaving her alone with Nova, a brujo she can't trust, but who may be Alex's only chance at saving her family. That's it. That's a really short synopsis of the book.
That is what the book is about.
Yeah.
And if you want to get, without getting super into spoiler territory, so she is part of.
We always give spoilers.
I know, but past this.
If you wanted to just be like, here's a nugget.
Yeah. So
a tofu nugget. It's right here.
She's the middle child. She hasn't expressed her magic yet because she feels like it's evil. It's a curse on her family, and
stupid.
So she suppresses it until her girlfriend gets hit on the face with a volleyball. And then she makes the guy.
But she's not her girlfriend
yet. And
her bestie.
She makes her best gal pal.
Who's gorgeous and talented.
And so she makes the guy who threw the volleyball like puke out a snake, and it's like, hey, you got powers, and everyone's her family's like, finally, you got your period. Just kidding, like you got your.
¡Te cantó el gallo!
Look at a party.
Oh my gosh. Dude, so I never realized I'm Puerto Rican, by the way. And I mentioned that phrase to a bunch of Mexicans, and they were like, the fuck? And then I was thinking about it, and it really doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, because you can get your period any time of the day.
For you Americans who don't understand, Cantó el gallo translates to the rooster crowed, but that also just means you got your period for the first time. And it's the phrase that your family repeats on the phone to every other family member the moment you get your period.
I remember
the phone tree is activated.
No, I remember walking into my grandma's house mere hours after it happened, and my grandma going like, "Mi amor, te cantó el gallo."
Yeah. Woo.
No.
Love that Hispanic life. So so she gets to celebrate her death day, which is
like a quince.
It's like a quince, really. And there's been so much quince happening in our lives recently. And during this quince, she decides that she's going to reject the blessing that would open up her powers because
bitch.
And so she prepares this prayer or enchantment, and when she does it, instead of banishing the magic, she ends up banishing her entire family to the underworld, and then she's gotta embrace her powers and get them back.
Dead or alive, she banishes her entire family history. Like all of the dead relatives and all of the current living relatives all get pulled into this like nega dimension. And she's like, fuck.
Yeah, and then they gotta go through Labyrinth, but it's not fun.
There's no David Bowie, so
no David Bowie or David Bowie crotch.
Hello.
Dance, magic dance, magic dance, magic dance, magic.
Who wants to go first?
By order of book finishing, go forth.
Well, I really liked it.
Oh, it's also order of rating because I saw you gave 5 stars.
Yes, I did. I was a super fan of the whole like Latina bruja like concept. Like I love like super diverse YA books, so I was here for it. I thought it was very like fresh and original, and I just really liked it because it read like just your average like Latino family, but just witchy. And it was really cool. Really, I mean, that's basically it. I really enjoyed it because it was so fresh. It was so light. I didn't think it was like perfect storyline at times, and I didn't think it was like the best written book in the world or anything, but I really enjoyed it. I wanted to know what happened next. I will definitely be reading the sequel, and it was a very like I didn't have to think too much when I was reading it, but not in a bad way, just in like a light movie that you sit down to enjoy with friends kind of way. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think my biggest pet peeve, really the only thing that like constantly bothered me the entire book, and it's just a personal thing, is I hate when people use another language in a book and then they translate it immediately after. Like that just bothers me. They did that constantly through the book, or like I felt like the author was trying to be so Latina that then like she put Spanish in places where it didn't belong. So like every name, if I wanted to say like the twisty bridge of the mountain, it would be like el twisty puente del mountain. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh my god,
man, the one that killed me was the duende.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Because I'm like,
yeah, it was just like sometimes I thought she tried a little too hard.
Just say the dwarf or el duende.
El
Right.
Duende. Why wouldn't
Right.
you use
It's
the
just-
article?
Because
like,
she wanted to be super bilingual.
No, I get
and,
it.
Like, I get it.
appreciate respect.
But okay.
Maybe like it would have been enough for me to lower, because of those things that are super petty, for me to lower it down to a 4. But because I was so excited to have a book about Latina witches, and because overall I really enjoyed the story, that's why I gave it 5.
No, I mean, I agree with your grammar commentary, just because if you're trying to write a book that is written for a bilingual code switching audience, you kind of need to be aware of the natural way that code switching happens. And if you're someone who's writing for an audience who switches from English to Spanish very like organically, it's kind of an unwritten rule. Like I would never say, "Oh yeah, I was walking and when I went outside, I saw the duende," and he was like,
You might. I feel like overall,
he was offering me a plate of arroz with beans. Like there's just like certain things that
smooth. Like that's what I think. It's like it just was
Yeah.
not smooth in parts, and it just
Yeah.
kind of took me out of it.
Yeah, exactly. If you did it with French, it'd be the same thing. Like I was walking and I wanted to get some cold fromage with my bread, and as you know,
Also felt like really connected to it because the series that I'm working on writing is basically like it fits into that same like little niche.
I can't wait till we can plug it.
No, but it's like that exact same niche, you know what I mean? Where it's like that bilingual YA fantasy loving, like, so I don't know, maybe a more realistic brain thinking Andrea would have given it a 4. But I stick by my 5. I stick by my 5. I enjoyed it, and my library didn't have the second book, but I put in a purchase order. They bought it. It's waiting for me on the hold shelf. I'm gonna go get it tomorrow during lunch. So
Jefferson Madison MVP.
Hopefully this weekend I can read the second book, which I'm pretty excited about.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Nice.
Anything else you wanted to? I got some questions.
I really enjoyed that the main character was bisexual and that there was like a love triangle, but not like, I don't know. Sometimes love triangles are so dramatic, and like I felt like this one was pretty like I was steadily rooting for the same person throughout the book. You know what I mean? I hate when I'm like, like I don't like that.
Yeah, I was concerned like that someone was gonna. I told you in the kitchen. I was like,
yeah,
like I hate it when like
Kris made me tell her who she was gonna end up with before she finished reading the
because
book.
if it was not who I thought it was gonna be, I was going to give this book 2 stars.
Oh.
No, but I enjoyed it because I feel like a lot of books where the characters are bi, that's like such a huge part of the plot, and here it was like it was really like in the back, it's like she's just a witch who happens to like her best friend who's a girl, but also appreciates your hot guy's abs. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was. I just thought it was different.
That it was. It really was. But we'll get to that. Okay. Tashay. What did you think?
Heartburn.
Oh no.
Don't get old, internet. Don't do it. So I gave the book 4 stars. I really liked it because, like you said, it's a very unique read. As soon as I saw that it was a bruja, I was like, ooh, she Latina. That's fun. Because I'm very used to it being like Sabrina and like all these other Anglo-Caucasian witches who like do like and like stuff happens. Whereas in this book, there's a lot of I would consider it like almost like organic magic, like instinctual magic, which is nice. I like that the cantos were very kind of like practical magic in nature. There's like gross stuff involved, and there's an understanding that to have these cantos work, you have to sacrifice some things. Like
and I like very familial. Like it was passed down from generation.
Exactly. It's like the old cookbook that is at your grandma's house that has notes in the margins and like index cards. And, you know, there is blood magic and they're very respectful and there's an ancestry element to it. And the whole thing with the death day is literally it's all of your ancestors coming together to give you this family blessing that protects you and also helps you become more in tune with what your powers are. And so it's this very like, it's a very like cultural representation of what magic is. You know, it's not just, oh, witchcraft. Like to use the Puerto Rican example, it'd be like, oh, it's witchcraft and sancocho. Like it's learning to do it and learning the family history that's related to it. So I really liked all that. Obviously she's from Brooklyn, so I was like, hey, Brooklyn. Because I live here. So I'm like, that could be me. And I
not reject your powers.
Exactly. I would never reject my powers. One of the reason it got 4 stars is because why the fuck would you reject your powers? Like I'm 30 and I'm still like staring at candles waiting to be able to unlock my magic.
We had this exact same discussion when we read that one book about the girl who goes off to war.
Every fucking time.
The one who's like falls in love with
Valia?
Yes.
Valia books?
Yes, the Valia books. Remember where she's
Air
like,
Awakens. It's Air Awakens.
Yeah, no. I will never support a character who has fucking magic or superpowers who's like, oh, this is the worst thing that I have. It's like the worst. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's some dumb shit. I can make my animal, like, indestructible and immortal and make sure that, like, my puppy, nothing ever happens to them. I can never have a bad hair day again. Like, whatever. It's fine.
Taking care of your puppy and Indy literally
Indy's
just
sad.
I'm fine. Oh my god, a little lump.
We needed more light, so that's
Yeah.
why we're using this as to improvise.
Gotcha. But I liked it. I don't know. I think another reason I gave it 4 stars is because once she gets thrust into this like other dimension, it's almost like this prepackaged world that has very little like exploration, and it's almost like she just already knows where to go, and getting around isn't very difficult. And I feel like when you're going to have something that's that complicated, you need to either dedicate enough time to explain it or keep it short. Like, only give us 2 or 3 challenging places to go through. Because once you go into this world, it's like every magical creature in existence ever shows up and somehow has a role in this entire situation. And even the way that everyone sort of bands together in the like near the end and fight this like great evil, because there is a great evil. Once she banishes her family, it's not just getting them back. There's this like great evil character who's going to use them to gain more power and like destroy worlds. So she has to fight against them. But even the way that all happens is like a little too like, tie a ribbon in a bow, put it there, good to go. Like,
they kept saying in the book, like, she's so drained. She's used all her power. And then like,
and she kept, it was like the Hanukkah candle of power. She's just like,
like 5 times she was like completely drained and exhausted, and like 5 times she somehow pulled a reservoir of strength.
I know, like
cracking me up.
And there's a part that I felt, oh god. Okay, so I want you to finish because I feel like that part of the book is like unfortunately the longest and the weakest part.
See? Like, if she's gonna be like Lancantrix, that's like super powerful.
The author doesn't stick to her own rules. When they first get there, her clock stops working. And then in a different scene, I quote, I look at my watch, 2.5 hours to be exact.
No,
like,
because she turned her watch into a timer.
Yeah, and so, but I feel like.
No, they said that at the beginning. She was like, my watch doesn't work, but
my stopwatch does.
Stopwatch of my watch works. So she was just counting the time so that she can measure the
I was
things.
like, I can't. I felt like it was too.
No. But Chris, I believe that because if my phone doesn't have signal and I don't have GPS and my phone can't update, I can still use my stopwatch. Porque eso no está conectado a nada.
Okay.
All right. But in that same vein, if your cell phone has 2% battery left and then you're like, my phone's going to die, and then somehow you can still use it for the next 4 hours of the book, like,
that I do agree with.
That's some bullshit. You can't put your body in airplane mode to make it last longer, okay? Like, she ran out of power. Go take a nap somewhere or, like, suck someone else's strength. And my other reason for giving it 4 stars is I didn't really dig the love triangle. I was like, the whole guy situation didn't bring anything to the table for me. Like, I liked that she had a really good friend and then that became a thing. But he was like, I guess that because he's like charming, her initial feelings for him make sense. But then afterwards, even when he starts talking about his feelings for her, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You literally trapped her. You didn't give a shit until an hour ago. And now you're talking about being in love with her. Vete pa la mierda. Vete pa la mierda. Vete pa la mierda. You almost killed my family. Vete pa la mierda. Like, I can't
reciprocate.
No, like, she didn't really reciprocate, though. So it didn't bother me because I felt that it was realistic that he would hang out with this person and be like, I guess I shouldn't have tried to kill her. She's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, but in like 2 days, he's like, oh, I guess she's okay. I might have made a mistake. To like, I love her. Vete pa la mierda. I'm not wasting my time.
One of those tropes, like every single book that has romance that we read for this book club, we all fall in love with.
What would have been the alternative, though? Well, the alternative could have been, because then there's no like.
The alternative for me would have been like, oh, you know what? It turns out not that they like immediately have an interest in each other because it's romantic, that they have an interest in each other for like some reason, and then it turns out they're fucking related. Like, that to me would have made more sense of him being like drawn to her because it's like similar magic, but for some reason, like, no se sabía that they were related. And then in the end, it's like, oh, you betrayed our family. Like, you didn't just betray people. You don't just want to be like my friend, but you actually betrayed your own family because you.
Like, we don't know. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be like he's gonna be in book number 2 probably.
Yeah, because that would have been because he like didn't know that much about his own family. So like, yo, that would have been a twist to me. Like,
my only issue with what's his name, Nova
Scotia, the best salmon.
But my only problem with him, really, I mean, I felt immediately like super threatened and irritated that I felt like he was gonna mess up the Alex Rishi thing. I was like,
yeah,
does she end up with him? Because if she does, I was gonna be really upset about that.
Oh, but I also like that Rishi like represents like no una blanquita. There's diversity in the book, like levels of diversity.
I just feel like I got the betrayal part. Also, if you're still watching, spoilers. He betrays. But like then the whole time he's like, I want $5,000, and he's like stealing stuff or whatever, and that seemed really petty to me, as opposed to like this other like bigger end game thing, this deal with the devoradora, because I can't say devourer.
No, but I get that because all she promised him was that he wasn't gonna die, but he was still gonna be poor as shit when he got back to
I just don't like how like it all just kind of like came about. Like, it just felt really petty. Like his motives being what they were at the beginning, like, and then you find out what he really is after, and then the shit that he does in between. I'm just like,
I don't know. I believed it. I didn't like him very much, but I believed it.
They took him out of the book. That'd be great. And then just have it be that Rishi has a really hard time accepting the magic. And then then she like gets
They can't do that because Rishi's like a little cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
she is.
Like, or okay, no, have Rishi be super supportive and accepting, but Alex is like, am I gay?
No, I don't want to have gay panic either. Okay.
Not gay panic, just gay like, really? I've never realized that this is what I was feeling. Is this what I've been feeling this whole time?
Did it happen to you guys that when Rishi like appeared in the cave with like the bird woman, I was like,
she's a bruja!
And I was so disappointed that she was just wearing a costume. I'm like, oh.
I was like, she's a bird woman. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what a fucking coincidence. She has magic too. Psych. She doesn't have any magic. I'm like, oh. But then I was quickly uplifted because what happened was that she like dove into the portal, and I was like,
she's a little cinnamon roll.
She's hardcore.
She's just so sweet.
She's like, I just wanted to find you because I love you and I believe in you. I'm like,
and she's
so nice.
She's just like, I guess I didn't really know you that well before because I didn't know this like super vital part of you, but it's also so beautiful. And now I love you.
She's so fucking supportive. Scratch it, forget it. There's no way. There's no fixing this. It's fine. Yeah, holy shit.
No, like I knew there was a love triangle because I had seen some like reviews. So then when she goes into this other world with what's his face, I was like, oh, like, but I thought there was gonna be a love triangle. Like I was so.
Oh yeah.
And as time kept going on, I was like, damn, like I really thought she was gonna go there with them, and then she showed up, and I was like, bird woman.
Not bird woman, but still super.
Yeah,
high.
but yeah, I was like, okay. Now here we go.
Oh dear.
Like, I ship it.
My sister is so cute.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can I get into? Did you get what you wanted to say?
Yeah. Sorry.
What we're talking about is kind of like bled into what I wanted to say.
I rambled. Give me your points, Christina. Give me your points.
Okay, so I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. I enjoyed the flavor of this book. You know, I enjoyed seeing like a Latinx community represented in a magic system that didn't make them into the bad guys, and then it wasn't stereotypical. I loved the family. My favorite part of this book was the whole family aspect of it. The mom and the dynamic between the sisters. I love the little sister, the ancestors trying to be like hella helpful, but like our main character, like not. I mean, it's just hard. I guess it's a matter of taste. I don't like it. I don't find it enjoyable, and I can't relate to a character that doesn't accept these grand powers. That's fine. The way that I kind of like rationalized it is that she wasn't rejecting her magic, that she was just rejecting her culture, or that she hadn't accepted her culture. That's how I kind of like.
But I saw it as like a trauma reaction. Like she was so traumatized by the events with like her pet and her dad that it was like a response coming from that trauma. I think if that hadn't happened, she would have embraced the magic.
Maybe. I don't know. I just the way that I mean, I pictured it like. Yeah, definitely rooted in that trauma, but not necessarily rejecting magic per se, but just rejecting everything that made her Latina. I mean, and here's where kind of like what Tashay had mentioned about once they fall into the portal and they decide to go, like I was sad that there was no more, let's go to the book and see what the book has. Let's do some magic over here and try to use what is already here, established in this extremely like flavorful world that exists in our plane of existence, that uses like maybe other people from other circles of magic. And I feel like there was a lot. I spent a lot of time in that underworld that had lost a lot of the flavor that was set up in the beginning of the book. Like if I hadn't been familiar with the story, and if I hadn't been like a Spanish speaker, Puerto Rican, Caribbean, whatever, Afro-Latina, I would have probably not gotten a lot of the references. But even still, I felt like they were a little too diluted in the fantasy aspect of it, and in their quest. Once they head off on their quest, then I found myself like I found that it fell into more generic. We're fighting monsters. We're moving forward. We're fighting monsters. We're moving forward. We have the big showdown. We get fucked up. A crazy betrayal. Wow. But now all my ancestors are coming to help me, and we save the day. And I mean, I saw Coco, so
like it could be any fantasy novel. Once it goes into the underworld, it could be any.
I'm not saying that it should have been La Llorona, you know? Like, come on.
But I wonder if that's why, like, when I read online, like, I wonder if that's why people in general seem to like the second book more. Like, I'm hoping that it's set 100% in like Brooklyn. like that there's no more like weird underworld diving or whatever, and maybe that's why people like it more because it has more flavor.
I found that the underworld parts were monotonous. There wasn't enough puzzles for them to figure out.
I was ready for them to be out of that fairy field. That fairy field section took forever.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that there wasn't an actual like labyrinth either.
Yeah, there was no labyrinth, and you go to the fucking fairy field. They fucking told you don't eat.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, same thing with the falconer and all the other, like, if you're gonna fucking tell me, if you're gonna call this book something and then it doesn't appear in the fuck,
Pero maybe it's like something we'll understand when we read book 2 or 3. Like maybe it's gonna be one of those things.
True, but my rating was based on my experience reading this book. Labyrinth lost, definitely lost. No Labyrinth.
No, you know what was lost? The Labyrinth.
I like the beginning of it. It was like all roads lead to the labyrinth. You know, like doesn't matter where you go, you're always gonna end up here. I thought that was cool. I thought that was sinister. And even though like I'm gonna say something crazy in this book club, like I enjoyed the quest part of Uprooted way more than I enjoyed this. You know when they're like out in the fucking woods fighting those giant grasshoppers?
Uprooted,
yeah,
good book.
That was, I mean, but that's what I like. That book never lost like what it was doing.
And Silver. Uprooted 2 is even better. Have you read it yet?
No, I haven't. I was reading this shit. Okay, so
that's
not shit. But this book. So I was very deflated by the fact that we don't get to see her doing more magic in her house with her fam. I guess that's what it is. I wanted them to have more of a casero.
Yeah, like a Sunday afternoon, vamos pa casa abuela. Let's make a café and let's make a canto.
I mean, sure, and that's why I gave it 3 stars. I would have given it 4 stars had they just gotten out of there so much faster. But I was bored. I got really bored. The first part of the book, I was like here for it because it even sounded like. Even relating it to D&D, like the raven feather that she was using, like, oh, she's like the raven queen. Holy shit. Like, oh my God, I was still into it. And then like a few chapters in, they're still fucking there. And I'm like,
you know what I was mad?
Also,
all the birds whose heads got sliced off in this book. Like that was very triggering.
Killed a rat too.
Yes, and the rat. So many people sacrificed.
And they brought enough food for like 2 days. Like I feel like they also just weren't prepared from like bringing stuff with them because at some point they like gave away most of their rations, not knowing. Like
if it hadn't been for all her family like telepathically communicating with her, whatever, like they would have been dead within like.
Yeah, it's like how Harry Potter's always getting saved by everybody else, and also like maybe the first thing you should learn to do is how to like make food out of the stuff that's around you with your magic. That way you don't have to like carry beef jerky with you.
I don't know. I just know that part was, I know that they needed to go immediately because that was Nova's plan. They needed to go right away. So then, you know, the fucking lady could get, you know, her juju suck out of them.
What does Austin Powers call it? Mojo. Her mojo.
Cross-mogenations.
Cross-mogenation.
But yeah, that's why I gave it 3 stars. I just kind of wish that underworld had been more
of an under neighborhood.
Yeah, no, not even just under neighborhood, but more like more sazon. You know?
Adobo.
A little bit. Poquito. So that's it. I still enjoyed it, and in this discussion, I found that I enjoyed more parts of it than I initially thought. But I'm looking forward to the next book because it's not with the same chick. Like I'm excited to be with a character that I feel I'm going to relate to more, and maybe I will enjoy it more.
Yeah, because I do. Oh my gosh! Yay!
The dress familiar.
Yeah. I don't have a familiar yet because I work crazy hours and I can't afford one, but someday
He turned 8 a few days ago.
So, oh,
Ready his birthday next week.
No, this week.
This week with some cookies, doggy biscuits.
Oh, that face.
Wait, that means that for a third of his life, Indy has been part of only one.
God.
He's my
I want to cry. I just want to cry every time.
He slept on my butt today.
He what?
He slept on my butt.
Yeah.
I can't this book. No joke. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Also, the cover is beautiful. Bruja Born sounds way better.
Yeah, it does sound really, really good. And then
the title is promising too.
Wait, can we?
I'm curious to see how like the sister, her personality is going to express itself when she has like center stage.
I'm bearing my heart and soul to you guys. Like this is a book that I kind of dream of writing myself, but centering. Like I've already kind of started writing a book that is very much like this, where there's a missing family member, there's a family full of magicians, but it takes place in a junque, and there's a one of the children who like doesn't want to accept their powers. Like do you
guys want to hear what it's about?
Yes, but
do you want me to summarize it in like 2 sentences?
Yes.
Basically, Lula, that's the older sister, she's like still wounded from all the stuff that happened in book 1, and she's like trying to like reconcile everything that happened and her sister's powers. And like the only thing that brings comfort to her is her boyfriend, Max. But then there's like a bus crash and all of her classmates die, including Max.
That sounds terrible.
But like Lula's a healer, but she can't heal them because they're dead. So then she apparently finds this like canto or something to bring Max back. Oh, this is like practical magic. So she defies death to do it, but then it says, but magic that defies the loss of the Deos is dangerous, unpredictable, and when the dust settles, Max isn't the only one who's been brought back.
White as light, mighty hectate, make it right. Erase stuff from our site. One is light, mighty hectate, make it right.
Pick it all up, put the lime in the coconut. Ooh, ooh.
Let's watch Practical Magic for Halloween, guys.
Yeah. All right, so do you have questions? You said you had questions.
No, I guess like we talked about everything that we addressed eventually. We addressed everything that I wanted to talk about. I was just looking at his dick.
Are you excited to find out more about like her family? Because the way the book ended, it's like
yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah, that
nothing he can say will make me forgive him for abandoning his family.
But what if he didn't? What if it was like he got charmed away or like something happened that he was like taken? Because his memory's gone. It seems like his memory's gone.
The book that I was writing, he left. He was a total douchebag and like left the fam, left his daughter, and was like, I can't
write your book.
I will, and then some other book club can rip it to shreds on the internet.
Tag you in their videos, and you can be like, "Mira carajo!"
Like just to be clear, I enjoyed this book. Keep doing what you're doing, Zoraida. Here for keep doing what you're doing. Whatever. This book wasn't for me, but that doesn't mean like my friends fucking enjoyed it.
It wasn't for you. You gave it 3 stars.
I liked it. It just wasn't.
Then it was for you.
Okay, then it was for me. Because she didn't end up with that boy.
Aww.
I was super excited. Okay, so we're gonna go with the runner-up of the forum because it's Halloween, but we're not gonna make it for Halloween. But
yeah,
Indy, no.
Okay, so I decided to go with.
Falta respeto.
Ghost is being a little crazy.
Little bitch.
Indy's
just like not here for it. Stop. Oh my goodness. Oh no.
What's he doing?
He's being funny.
Look, it's just if I blow on him.
Oh no.
Indy does not enjoy it. He's like,
I hate that. I hate fun. I hate everything good in this world.
Okay, so I went with Maplecroft by Sherry Priest. The description goes like this. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. And when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. The people of Fall River, Massachusetts fear me, perhaps rightfully so. I remain a suspect in the brutal Yeah, I know. I'm like, wait.
Sorry, there's a comma that's been definitely misused.
Yeah, I remain a suspect in the brutal deaths of my father and his second wife, despite the verdict of innocence at my trial. With our inheritance, my sister Emma and I have taken up residence in Maplecroft, a mansion near the sea and far from gossip and scrutiny. It is. But it is not far enough from the affliction that possessed my parents. Their characters, their very souls, were consumed from within by something that left malevolent entities in their place. It originates from the ocean's depths, plaguing the populace with tides of nightmares and madness. This evil cannot hide from me. No matter what guise it assumes, I will be waiting for it with an axe.
Oh.
So not romance, but hatchetry.
You don't know. Maybe there's some.
She falls in love with a hatchet.
Oh, that would be amazing. What? Oh, it was my phone vibrating against the rack. Okay, I'm excited. We'll probably miss the Halloween window, but it'll be like our Halloween read. So I'll send you guys the link to it.
Yay!
Words, ghost.
I'm trying to put him on my lap so you can see him. And
El nenito, ¿dónde está el nenito? Ay, el nenito, nene de la casa.
this is what I wanted.
Guys.
Oh God.
Aww.
Nope,
Okay, I give up.
not cooperate. Now he's just like going crazy.
Yeah, no.
I'm about to order a grilled cheese. And by order grilled cheese, I mean tell Ivan what grilled cheese I want. Because he's.
Whoa, where are you getting it from?
It's this place called Melt Shop. They literally sell a bunch of different grilled cheeses and tater tots and salads.
Well, congratulations.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right. Well, I think that just about wraps up our discussion.
Yeah, I had a good time. I liked the book. It was like, it made me feel in tune with my like inner bruja. And then I went to Comic-Con and went to like witches and pop culture. And then I saw a preview of Sabrina and I was like, yes!
You were on theme.
I am on point. I'm like, yeah.
I'm excited to watch Sabrina.
Same here. I saw the first episode. It was really good.
This book made me want to go back and like write my because it's being funny. Okay, say bye, Andrea.
Bye.
Oh.
Goodbye,
Internet.
Till next month.